Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Openly Expressive. I'm your host, Naisha. So let's get into it. I'll entitle this episode Healing. So, oftentimes we ask for God to remove certain people and situations out of our lives, or not even being specific in certain people. Sometimes we can just ask him to remove at least for me, remove all evil and negative-minded people and things and those around me. And it's funny how when I pray those prayers, it's answered. Because he removed certain people and things out of my life. And then, I've sat there and still currently am and was in a state of depression to where I really rocked with this person, whether it's a relationship or a friend, and it had to come to an end, a halt abruptly. And it's just like, man, I wasn't expecting that. And you kind of sometimes you question your worth, sometimes you question your sanity. And, we beat ourselves up a lot of the times because we feel that maybe if it was something that we've done differently, that the outcome would have been differently. But ultimately, if you ask for him to remove certain things and people out of your life, you must accept it. You must realize that's what you asked for. And he's looking out for your best interest. He always has your best interest at heart. And it's just like, don't beat yourself up. Don't walk around depressed. Don't have anxiety. All those mental illnesses that we seem to carry from day to day, post-traumatic stress disorder, things like that. And I suffer from all of them. I had to be medicated many years ago, but it didn't make me feel like my normal self. So, it made me feel worse than when I began taking these, said prescriptions. So I had to wean myself off of that. And it's just like now I'm at a point where how do I cope without these things to help me cope and, feel better about a situation or not be so depressed or feeling basically like crap throughout my healing journey. And so step one for me today, I went to a dermatologist because I've been breaking out like crazy due to stress. And then I have a hormone imbalance, PCOS and things like that. So my hormones are all out of whack. I just dealt with a situation that, ended abruptly. So my hormones was just all out of whack, and on top of that, it added on to the already there depression from other things that already occurred in my life, whether it's past or currently. So I was going through it, and I was in a heavy state of depression. My mind was racing, my thoughts were not too good, and to be candid, I just felt defeated. And I just felt like, what is it worth even trying to care anymore? Sometimes we give up on ourselves, and it's just like we can't do that, because especially if we are parents, we can't ever give up on ourselves, because our babies need us, our offsprings need us. Especially, it doesn't even matter if your children are no longer children age-wise, but they still are always going to be your babies. I have a 23-year-old, and she's still forever going to be my baby, even when she's married with her own babies. That's at the end of the day, she's still going to be my baby. I birthed her. So, and my other two, that's just what it is. So I have to be mentally well in order for me to not only be able to operate for myself, but for my children. Because we don't realize oftentimes when we are going through something so heavy that they see it, they sense it. I forgot what my son asked me yesterday, but he just randomly came in my room. My son is 11, and I didn't think that I was either in the room or on the couch with my daughter. I don't remember, but either way, he just came to me and he randomly asked me, was I okay? And seemingly I think that I was putting on a brave front, walking around thinking that I was pretending to be okay, but they sensed when you're not. So I'm in the process now of rebuilding my mind and my physical, so they can all be intact and things like that. Because, when you look good, you feel good, okay? I've gained weight and things like that from depression and, other situations. But I have to realize at the end of the day and at the end of it all, I have to fend for myself. We put trust and, we put a lot of things into other people, and we expect them to carry us, when in actuality, you have to carry yourself. You can't put your in all and everything in everyone, because when that said person decides to cut out, or mistreat you or whatever the situation is, then what are you left with? You're left in shambles. And shambles is not where you need to be left when you have children, most of all. You are, especially when you are the sole provider, you have to be as strong as you can be. Because, you know, when you're going through stuff, you still have to wear the hat of mom or dad. You still have to bear the responsibility of taking care of other human beings. You have to make sure the bills are paid. You have to make sure everyone and everything is in order on a day-to-day basis. And it's just like, you barely have time for you, especially me, you know, being a single mom. I barely have free time for myself. So what I did today was, like I said, I went to the dermatologist, step one in rebuilding me, taking care of my physical, and in turn, you know, catering to my mental. So I decided to come to the park. I have a car, but I decided to take a walk in the park. It's not too far from my house, and you know, the scenery and things like that is very calming. So I just, you know, I'm off in a little corner by myself. I'm taking walks. Right now I'm just sitting on the bench, and this is something that I seldom do because I'm always so busy, either with the children or dealing with my mental state, feeling in a state of depression, or, you know, just slumped over, or I'm just working. And I realized, you know, out of 24 hours in a day, you have to at least take a few of those, if not just one, to yourself. We always feel like we are so occupied and we have no time for this and that. As long as you are alive, you have time to do something. So just make sure you always decide to do something for yourself. Everyone always says, you know, self-love is the best love. It actually is, because if you don't love yourself, don't ever in your life think that anyone else around you, besides, you know, your close family members and your loved ones, your immediate circle and things like that, they might have everlasting love for you. But as far as outsiders, don't ever take for granted the fact that they are always going to be there. I mean, don't ever think that they will always be there, because 9 times out of 10, they will not. Because people realize when you don't fully love yourself, when you don't fully value and cherish yourself, people can sense that. Just how when I stated a little while ago, how my son could sense that I wasn't doing fine just by him simply coming to me and asking me, am I okay? And for a child to see that and ask me that, obviously I wasn't putting on the mask that I thought that I was wearing. You know those commercials where there's a person, it's about a person being depressed or something like that, and all of a sudden you see them put up a smiley face in front of them, and then underneath the smiley face it's a face of depression, or, you know, a face of despair. And, you know, we think we can mask those things. You can't. You really can't. I'm sorry, guys, I'm in the park, as I said, and there's trucks and everything, but, you know, this is my place of serenity right now. So, you know, I just realized that we try to mask and cover up what we're really going through on the inside with physical things like makeup, clothing, jewelry, things like that. But ultimately, that's just, you know, that's just taking care of the way you look on the outside. Are you tending to your inner? Because that's what's most important. Are you getting that set therapy that I speak of often? Are you reading self-help books? Are you journaling? Are you confiding in others? Are you taking those walks and jogs in the park? Are you exercising not only your mind, but your physical daily? Are you doing any of those things? If you're not catering to your inner, your outer would never match. So my friends, just make sure you take care of you in all aspects of the phrase. Take care of you. Start from the inner, and it'll definitely show on the outer. That smile that you'll have on your face will be genuine. And I'm sure that's what we all strive for. That genuine smile. You know, just find what you think that you need to do to get over the hump. Take it one day at a time. Don't rush the process. Don't be upset with yourself when the process isn't, you know, moving so rapidly and you still feel like you are in a sunken place. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just like I said, take it one day at a time. Everything will be okay. And most of all, pray. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what they think. Everything that I have gotten through, I know who got me through it. I know who got me through it. There's no denying that. So that's one thing I would never do. I would never, you know what? I've learned that in life I have put man, and that's just not speaking of a physical man, people in general. I noticed that I have put man in front of God, before God, many times, probably most of my life so far. And where has that have gotten me? In a state of depression, in a state of being pissed, in a state of being hurt, in a state of being overwhelmed. So I realized, I need to always put him first. Me second, and my children follow, because guess what? I have to come before my kids in order for me to make them good. So my friends, word of advice, love yourself first, as you all should know, but we don't all put that plan into action. Love yourself first, wholeheartedly. Love who you are most of all. Don't let anyone change you. Don't let anyone try to, quote unquote, give you that constructive criticism that they claim, because a lot of people claim they're giving you constructive criticism when it's really just a, low-key insult, but the delivery didn't seem so negative, so kind of goes over your head. You be who you think that you need to be. You be the person that, achieves nothing but greatness. Don't ever change yourself for anyone. Don't ever allow anyone to make you feel less than, and just keep striving for the best. I wish you all the best of health, life, and happiness. Be safe. And until I chat again, bye, babies. You have just listened to the 3rd episode of Season 2 of Openly Expressive. Thank you for tuning in.